The following Let's Play has been rated for mature audiences only. Any attempts to break the game are for entertainment value only. However, if any typos happen to be found, Hello everyone! Welcome to this game! So, it looks like we're starting another RPG Maker 3 game. If you remember, we did another RPG Maker 3 game earlier this year, a game called A Light in the Sky. This game is going to be completely different, and I'll explain why in a bit. First off, this game is called Ursus Quest: Tree of Life. It is the sequel, or sort of sequel, I'm not entirely sure how closely they're related, but it's the sequel to Ursus Quest: Shadow of the Towers. And both of them are made by Ep1. Now, me and Shadow of the Towers have a bit of a history. And as usual, whenever I have a history to give at the start of a new Let's Play, I am going to provide a text box right there that tells you the time to skip to if you don't want to hear that history. Now, for those of you who are interested in that history, here we go. So, as many of you are aware, I'm sure, I hang out at a website called RPG Maker Magazine. It is your typical website that is not very popular, with just like 10 regulars, I want to say. Somewhere around 10 regulars, maybe slightly more. We mostly hang out in the chat room. Not as much on a focus on RPG Maker as there used to be. And that's probably because the series have sort of died off on the consoles, because we sort of focused mainly on the console games. Let's see, this one was released in 2005, so there hasn't been a new RPG Maker released on the console since 2005. Now, believe it or not, RPG Maker Magazine used to actually be a magazine. An online magazine. There was only one issue that actually hit print. I have it. But it was still a magazine. And interestingly enough, in 2006, I decided to sign up to be a previewer. That is, I would play somebody's demo, I would give a short interview and give my impressions of the demo. And for my first assignment, I did Ursus Quest: Shadow of the Towers. So here is an excerpt. Here is a portion of that review that I wrote. Preview. I'd almost hate to say this, but I was just about jumping for joy when I finally finished playing this demo. And I meant that in the worst way possible. Now, did Shadow of the Towers really deserve that hate? If you're interested in seeing the full preview, I'll have it linked in the description, but it was rather negative, and looking back, it really didn't deserve that sort of hate. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason I signed up to be a previewer and not some other position like a reviewer is because I figured it would be easy. I wouldn't have to play a game for very long. At the most, 1, maybe 2 hours long, a demo that long. Shadow of the Towers was 9 hours long. Do you have any idea what it's like to play an unfinished game for 9 hours? That doesn't count. So, I was kind of a little miffed at the game, and that reflected in my preview. And I felt kind of guilty about it. And I still feel guilty about it. So, earlier this year, or maybe it was last year, Ep1 came up to me and asked me to do a Let's Play of the sequel, Tree of Life. And I have decided to accept that request so I can rip this game so I can just play it. As an apology. Because I'm sorry. By the way, in case you're curious, like I said, I signed up to be a preview in 2006. Shadow of the Towers eventually released in 2007. I guess my critique sort of delayed it. And then Tree of Life, the game we're about to play now, that released a year later. So let's see here, let's load the game. I probably should have loaded it earlier, but I'm really curious what the memory usage is. Because you're only oh wow. It used almost all the available memory, 99.9%. That does not surprise me, because judging by the huge list of features that this game has, link in the description, I'd say, yeah, of course it's going to be using that much. Lauren. I assume Lauren is the creator. By the way, if you're looking at that list of features and you're interested in playing this, you're probably not going to be able to play this. You know how the PC RPG makers, you need the RTP, the runtime package, in order to run a game? Well, it's sort of the same deal with the console RPG makers, except in this case, the actual RPG maker is the RTP. So you need RPG Maker 3 in order to run it. And along with that, you need some sort of transfer device to get the file from your computer to the PlayStation 2 memory card. It has to be a special device. So, let's get started. In the decade after the Dark Elf Mercer's genocidal gutting of the world, small pockets of life began to re-emerge, scattered here and there. What little life that remained found itself drawn to the crumbling old settlements, where mankind could gather once again, in cities, as it always had. This city was one such place. I imagine the Mercer thing is the events in the first game. The first game is your traditional RPG. You're just going from area to area, fighting monsters and that sort of thing. This game, like I said, is going to be very much different from that game and very much different from Light in the Sky. But the best way I can describe this game is, well, having not played either this game or the game I'm about to reference, this game sounds like to me it could be what Fable would have been had Fable been made on RPG Maker 3. I bet you're really interested in it now. This city, called Moyos, was rebuilt on the ruins of settlements dating back many thousands of years. Because it was located on an acropolis... Well, judging by the game's description, I think that's like on the top of a mountain or something like that. Or a plateau, something like that. It became a beacon for those seeking protection, as well as for vultures who would pick them clean. As a result, the small town quickly grew to become a diverse collection of survivors from all over the world. One of these survivors is still awake tonight. This man could not enjoy his fortune without helping those around him who weren't so fortunate. And so he built an orphanage in order to help all the abandoned, orphaned, and refugeed children that he saw every day. He used his love to build a future for the children, but even he couldn't know where his bridges might lead. Just a minor comment here, I don't really like the placement of the ampersand there. I would have preferred the word and. Seeing an ampersand after a comma just looks weird to me. Maybe there was a text limit or something. I don't know. I know there's a text limit of some sort, but maybe the ampersand meant the difference between something. Like maybe he couldn't spare the 2 extra letters for ND. For on this very night, a very special surprise is waiting for him right around the corner. His name is Horace. Goodness, who on earth could be at this who on earth could that be at this hour? Yeah, sometimes I suck at reading, but at least I know you're keeping up with me. And I'm controlling this man. Let's explore. There's probably nothing to explore, although I'm pretty sure this bush here, this little tree, is not a part of the original scenery. As a reminder, with RPG Maker 3, most of the furniture in these buildings comes stock, but you can sort of add your own, and I'm fairly certain that this is added. Fairly certain. Ah, I see someone's left another little one, and there's a note pinned to the blanket. According to this note, your name is Victor or Zoe. So, in other words, you're choosing between a boy and a girl. Now, typically whenever you have an RPG that gives you that sort of choice, it doesn't really mean much outside of your appearance and maybe some slight difference in stats. In this game, choosing whether you're going to be a boy or a girl means the difference between whether you're going to knock a girl up or go through the pains of childbirth. Personally, I'd rather have the pains of childbirth, so let's go with Zoe. Zoe! Your name's Zoe, and you're a beautiful baby girl. Why do you cry, little one? You'll be safe and warm here. There's always some warm oatmeal for you, and some warm blankets on soft beds. Come now, and let's get you warm. You know, you could have had inserted the baby crying sound. And so it was that the child Zoe came to reside under the care of kindly Horace Rindon. Rindon? Let's go with Rindon. Although we're probably not going to ever refer to him as that anymore. So, Horace is fine. Among the orphans of the Warren Hall near the ancient town of Moyos. Though her origins were a mystery, her eyes sang 1,000 sad verses, even at her age. Under the loving guidance of Horace, however, her future opened like the sun at dawn, but the next 5 years were not always full of joy. Hey, weird girl, come here! I imagine the girl on the right is going to be us, Zoe. ... I can't count those. Look, weirdo! This whole not talking thing's getting really old. All you do is look out of that stupid window all day. What's so interesting out there? Are the birds fighting the squirrels? Nobody is ever going to adopt you. Who would want a weird loser who just sits around looking out of windows? I hate this girl already. And this boy. Yeah, our parents died, but yours didn't want you. Now you have to stay here forever. Ha ha, forever. I imagine he's saying it like that kid from The Simpsons. I hate him already. Stop acting like you're better than me. Why are you special? Why do you get away with not talking? Is that a serious question? Why do you get away with not talking? How do you not get away with not talking? ... If you had to be quiet for 5 minutes, your head would explode. I think that was us. You can't really control the position of the little arrow that says who's talking. Would have been nice had there been some sort of indication of who is talking, though. You know, like, Zoe, : if you had to be quiet for 5 minutes, your head would explode. Get your ratty pigtails away from me. Ew, that's it, I'm going to get the scissors. Ha 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 ha. Hoas says you was a dish rag. Dish rag, dish rag. Wow. Where is she? Come here, you. Yeah, you better run away. You know, it's really not a good idea to run with scissors. Hear that? That's the sound of your ratty pigtails coming off. Uh-huh, I like where this is going. Hoas says he hate you. Ha ha, Hoas says he want to throw you in the lake. Silence! Marla, go to bed right now. Lance, come and get your brother and take him to bed. Wow. Ugly brother. But he didn't seem to be the mean one here, so he's okay. Come on, you little rat. Thomas, you and Tempe... Oh, where has Tempest gotten to now? Alright, that's it. Everybody go to bed. Wait, Zoe. I'd like to talk to you. Yes, Horace? Zoe, please remember that, no matter how tiny and mean the world may seem... Tiny? The world is tiny? Okay. There's a whole huge world out there where you can be whatever you want to be, and almost anything is possible. One day you'll see that world. Never forget that, and never let the cruelty of the world make you forget who you are in the meantime. Promise me, okay? Okay, Horace. I promise. That's my good girl. Now you should get to sleep yourself. I have to go and find someone. But that night, Zoe could wait no longer to see the world outside. She crept out the front door and into town. She knew the answers to all of her questions were out there somewhere, and she had to find them. Her future would not wait. Ursus Games presents Ursus Quest, Tree of Life. Took us a little bit to get to the title screen, but yeah, we're to the title screen. So, let me explain the title real quick. Basically, the Tree of Life is basically the many branches that this game takes. There are so many options. You can become like different professions, like a cook or a romantic. I'm pretty sure that was on the list. You could also change between different classes, or maybe not change between different classes. Maybe you just choose one. There's like the archer, the mage, the adventurer. I might choose the archer, I'm not sure. And of course, as I implied earlier, you could start a family, which sounds awesome. So let's see what we're going to be doing first. Come now, your destiny awaits. So here we are this little girl, Zoe. Makes me a little bit curious what you would look like if you started out as the boy instead. But we'll figure that out eventually. So let's see, what goes back here? This is the exit to town, and it leads to Limbria. That's the overworld. Well, I'm not entirely sure I want to go out there just yet. First, I want to find out if there's a place to save. Also, slow down. Also, this looks nice, so I forgive the slowdown. Yeah, you remember how a light in the sky had a crap ton of slowdown? That's really hard to avoid. Although the slowdown doesn't seem to last for long. In a light in the sky, it was pretty much everywhere you went slowed down, but here it seems to be only whenever you're at the entrance of town. See, so it's night. Is time flowing yet? Or does it like flow all over only on the overworld or something? Or after you do certain events? Not sure. Time flows slowly, so we won't be able to tell for a little bit. Well, hello there, young lady. I just locked up the shop and now I'm on my way home. Why are you out so late? Are you here with your parents? Does Maximilian not know this girl? Well, maybe she just stayed inside the orphanage the entire time or something. No. I live at Warren Hall. I'm, an escapee, huh? Ha ha ha! Well, don't worry, your secret's safe with me. Only do go back soon. Horace will be beside himself when he finds out that you're missing. Oh, by the way, how is it over there? What will you say? Well, I'm going to be straight up honest. It's awful because of those kids. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, don't forget that it can't last forever. One day you can make your own life. I'm sure one day someone really nice will adopt you. Just keep a positive outlook. Heck, if I weren't so old, I'd adopt you myself. You'd almost have to be better than those two no-good layabout sons of mine. So I imagine a lot of these characters that we're going to meet throughout this adventure, this life, are going to have different things to say. Let's see, door is locked. I imagine it will open at some point. You know, I am really liking this map. This game is looking nice. Possibly even nicer than a light in the sky. Granted, it can't look much nicer because you're still stuck with the same stock graphics. ISIS Reality, or Realty. I guess that's for homes? What's this? I can't see, I'm too small. What will you do? Trade in an int metal for points. Trade in points for an int metal. You don't have enough int points. Alright, this is the point where we look at our... Zoe has no stats, so we're probably not going to be fighting any battles anytime soon. No. Don't got any items or anything. We gotta find a place to save. So let's focus on finding a place to save first. Welcome, what can I do for you? Nothing. I'm not sure I have enough money. No, I have 0 gold. Well, you know, just out of curiosity, wrong button. Just out of curiosity, let's find out what you have. Healing herb, mandrake root, healing oil, golden oil, ether, smelling salts, intimidator, pest lore. So, I imagine there are going to be battles. In fact, the description says that there are battles. Interestingly, the description, you know, I really like the way this girl runs. How does she walk? Probably very slowly. Tell you what, she's got really stiff hands. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, one interesting thing in the description for this game is it says that in order to beat the game, you only have to fight one battle. And it also says that you can beat that battle without training if you're clever enough. I imagine that throughout this life, I'm going to be fighting more than one battle. Anyway, this video is getting a length, so I'm going to end it here. Next time we will explore Molios some more. For now, I'm going to the world map because this is where you can save. There might be a save point outside or inside the town, but who knows. Anyway, this is where we are. Yep, like I said, it's sort of a plateau. I guess this is like a safety zone away from the dangers that are down there. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. I already said what we're doing next time. I'll see you then.